everybody, and welcome to another Cricut Craft tutorial. I am Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure to check out my Instagram listed down below. I post lots of fun stuff there and I would love to have you as a follower over on Instagram. Be on the lookout for lots of fun giveaways coming up and things like that. You never want to miss out on one of those because I have lots of cool stuff. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make print then cut magnets. They're super fun to make, really easy, and you can do this with any of the machines that you have, whether you have the Cricut Maker, the Cricut Explorer, the Cricut Joy, the Silhouette, or even the Brother Scan and Cut or the Solo. You can really do this with any of your machines. I made several little unicorn magnets as well as some little hearts to take up some space on my sheet. That way we wasted way less product than normal. So I'm so excited to show you how to make this, how to fill your whole sheet. That way you can make sure that you don't waste any of your printable or your magnet. And then I'm going to show you guys how to cut this out. Really fun, really easy, and these make amazing gifts. You can do these with photos, you can do them with all sorts of things. So let's get started. Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun. The first thing that we need to do is to download the stickers that we're going to use for our print then cut magnets. You can get these anywhere. These ones are from designbundles.net. I'll link them down below, but you can really find whatever kind of speaks to you. We're going to use these little florally unicorns. So all I'm going to do is click download now and then click download now again. Now this one is going to ask me where I want to save it. So I'm going to go into my desktop, save it into my Cricut folder, and I'm going to save it under print then cut. Once I've done that, it will open up a little box down here. You can click that to open, and you need to make sure that you extract this folder. So what I want to do is I'm just going to click the word extract all and just click extract. That actually makes it so that you can access your files. You don't need to keep the zipped folder anymore. It's really up to you whether you keep it or you don't. Like I said, it's just up to you. So let's head over to Cricut Design Space. We need to upload the design that we're going to use in Cricut Design Space. So all you'll need to do is down here in the lower left-hand side, click the word upload. You're going to select upload image, and you can either browse for it, which I find a little bit annoying, but I'll show you that one. You're going to go to the folder that you saved it in. So I'm going to slide down here and find my print then cut folder. And then you'll need to find the folder that that's saved in. So I believe that one was called Spectrum Unicorn Stickers. Now from here you can really use any of the file formats except PDF. So you can use the SVGs, you could use the PNGs. Really it's up to you and whatever you want to do. Now the bonus to these, they already have the offset on them. I'm just going to do one of the stickers. So let's go ahead and let's do the one that has kind of more of the design on it. So I'm going to go ahead and click open. Now, because it's a PNG, we do need to select complex and click continue. We don't want to clean up anything. We just want to keep it as is and click continue again. You'll want to save this as a print then cut image and click upload. This is pretty easy to do and really fun, so I'm excited to show you guys how to do this. So what we're going to do now is select our unicorn and click add to canvas. Once your unicorn has loaded, it might be pretty big, so you're going to want to size it down to whatever size you want your magnet to be. I want to do about maybe a 3-inch magnet. So you can either move it with the arrow down in the lower right-hand corner, or you can make it an exact size by using the size up here at the top. So I'm going to do a 3-inch wide sticker. Now I want to do several of these because we're going to put these on a magnet sheet, and then these are going to be a really fun giveaway to add to some packaging. But you can really do these for any occasion, whatever you want to use them for. What I'm going to do is open up a shape, and I'm going to open up a square. Now, square sometimes does take a second to open, so just give it a minute. Now, we want to unlock our squares so that we can actually change its sizing to meet the requirements for print then cut. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock my square down here in the lower left-hand corner. I want to change the width to 6.75 and the height to 9.25. Those are the parameters for print then cut. You can only print and cut that large. I'm going to right click on the square and click send to back. That'll put it behind my little unicorn sticker so that I can move my unicorn onto my page. So I'm going to put this as close to the edge as I can get it, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Now I want to try to fit as many of these onto my mat as I can, because that way we can really use as much of this magnet sheet as we can. So what I'm going to do is duplicate again, and I want to put these pretty close together. You want to make sure that they don't overlap, but you can put them pretty close together so that you can really fit a lot of them. So you're just going to duplicate them until you fit as many as you can onto your page. And you can always add little tiny sized ones if you want to. I'll add some hearts or something over in the corner just to show you guys. So you'll see here that I'm just going to, again, put it as close as I can to the edges. And I'm going to duplicate it. Now that's about as many of these unicorns as we can fit on one print then cut page. Now we do have some space down here at the bottom, so it's fun to just add some little shapes, or you can add another little print then cut sticker, make smaller unicorns, whatever you want. But I'm going to do a heart. And I'm just going to make it kind of small. And all I'm going to do is go up here to operation where it says basic cut. Click that and go down to where it says print then cut standard. Now it'll look like it disappears, but it doesn't. I'm actually going to change its color. I want to do a pattern, so I'm going to open color right under print type and click on pattern. Now there's tons and tons and tons of patterns that you can choose from. You can really do whatever you want, but I kind of like this mermaidy rainbow thing that we've got going on. So I'm going to select that. Now it can take a minute for it to load, but once it loads, you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate our heart a couple times, but I think I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And then do we want to add an offset? That's something to think about. So what I can do is I can just take a look and see if I like it with an offset. The 2.25 is always a little bit too big for me. I usually like a 0.1 or even a 0.08 sometimes on stickers. I think that looks pretty good, so I'm going to click apply, and then I'm going to change that print then cut color to white. That looks pretty good. Now, another important thing to do is to select the rainbow heart and the offset and click flatten before you do anything else. I think that looks pretty good as far as sizing is concerned, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, and we're just going to, again, put as many of these as we can. Now, the cool thing is you can kind of turn these, so you can kind of flip it upside down. That way you can fit even more of them. They'll fit a little bit closer together that way, but it's really up to you and how you want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and just select them both by holding shift and clicking both of them, click duplicate, and I don't know if I can fit both, but we'll see. Doesn't look like it, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this one down here at the end smaller. So I'm just going to reduce its size, and I'm going to put him up here, and then I'll just see how big I can really make him to see, you know, if he fits. That looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm just going to add some hearts and things just to fill up some of this space. I hate to waste space, especially on magnet sheets. So I'm just going to kind of duplicate and see if I can fit them. And you can kind of play with it and see what works. All right, I think we filled up pretty much about as much space as we can. We can maybe fit one more up here. Maybe. I might need to turn him. But this is where you just sort of play with it and figure out if it fits, what fits, and how you want it to fit. So that looks pretty good. I think we filled up our sheet pretty well. So now what I need to do is I'm going to get rid of the square. You can just click the eyeball here to remove it, or you can just fully delete it. It's really up to you and how you want to do it. The next thing that I need to do is I'm going to select my entire design. I'm going to make sure that it fits within those parameters just to be safe, to make sure it's less than 6.75 wide and 9.25 high. You can see it's a little bit too tall. So all I'm going to do is figure out which of these is sitting too low, which I actually think it's this one. And I'm going to move it up just a little bit. And then you can kind of check. It wasn't that one, so it might be this one. But whatever you need to do, just kind of move them and see if you can find out which one it is. You can also just resize the whole thing. It's up to you. But I'm just going to see. Yep, there we go. We got it. Now, I am going to just double check and make sure nothing's overlapping. So to do that, I'm just going to change the color of my canvas size by clicking down here where it says blank canvas. And I'm just going to change the color of my canvas to dark gray. Because you can see now these two are overlapping a little bit, so that's not good. So we want to just make sure we move that and make sure that nothing overlaps. I think we're good. This is a little overlappy, so I'm just going to reduce the size because nobody's going to notice if I change the size of my hearts just a little, just to make them fit better. So again, this is just sort of where you got to play around, figure out what works, what fits, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to double check my sizing again. Perfect, it will fit. So once you have everything selected, make sure to click attach. That's going to keep everything in the order that you put it in so that it fits on your print and cut image. Now we don't need to mirror these or do anything special with them unless you want to change the direction that your unicorns are facing. It's really up to you. You can mirror it or flip it. If you want to flip it, just go up to the top, click flip, and click flip horizontal. That'll just change the direction that your unicorns are facing. If you have words or anything, you don't want to do that, but since it's just a little unicorn and some hearts, you can flip it if you prefer them facing another way. Now all we have to do is click make it. Now this may take a minute because this is quite a few pieces. It's a lot of color and it's a lot for Cricut Design Space to handle. So sometimes your screen will come up blank. Just let it sit for a couple of seconds or even a few minutes and it'll eventually show you your print then cut design. Once it's done that, go ahead and click continue. Now this is where we're going to send it to our printer. So click send to printer. I'm going to use my Epson ET2720 for this, which is an inkjet printer, and I'm going to use Starcraft printable vinyl for these. And we're going to add the laminate to make sure that they're nice and heavy and really nicely protected. Because if you want to use these in a kitchen or something, you want to make sure that they're protected. So you can see I have the correct printer selected. I only want to print one copy. I like to leave bleed on. It just gives Cricut Design Space just a little edge around the sticker. And then what we're going to do is click Use System Dialog. Now once you've clicked that, you can click Print. Now it might take a minute to bring up your printer's system dialog, and that's okay. Once your system dialog has come up, you're going to want to change a couple of your preferences. So click right here where it says Preferences. Once you've done that, you're going to see you have some options. So you've got your paper type that you can change. I find for my printer, the Starcraft printable vinyl really does very well on plain paper, but you can try any of these and see what works best for you. You can also do presentation paper matte. That one works pretty well as well. Then you want to change your standard quality to the high quality. Make sure it's set to color. And then what I like to do is I'm going to go over to more options. Under my more options setting is a high speed setting that I want to make sure to turn off. If you leave the high speed setting on, it tends to leave you with lines in your print. Now all you have to do is click OK and then click print. It's going to print out on my Epson inkjet printer, and I will show you guys how it looks once it's done, and then I'll show you guys how to put it onto your magnet sheet and get everything cut out. So these are the three products that we're using. We have the matte inkjet printable permanent adhesive vinyl from Starcraft, and we also have their glossy UV laminate. So it's really important to know which one you are printing on. One has a gray logo on the back, and one has this bright blue. You want to print on the one with the bright blue logo. If you don't, it's not going to work. The laminate can't handle print. So what we're going to do is layer our stickers with the laminate, and then we also have our magnet sheet. Now you can get these without the sticky side, but the ones I have are sticky, so we're just basically going to have like a double stick to each other. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually place on my laminate. So this is a really easy, fun thing that you guys can do to make your stickers glossy and to really kind of enhance them. So what I do is I use a pin pen, and that helps me get started when I'm peeling this, because I'm not real good at peeling the beginning of the laminate. So I just kind of get it under this corner over here. And then what I do is I just take this edge, the frilly top edge here, and I'm going to fold my backing just back a little bit. So it's about maybe like an inch, inch and a half. Then what I'm going to do is take my stickers and the sticker sheet that I printed, put this down on the table, and make sure that there's nothing on your stickers, no like rogue hairs or anything like that, no dust. And all I'm going to do is line up my laminate with the top of my page. So if it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter because it's going to just cut out the stickers as long as the laminate's covering your stickers. So all I'm going to do now is take my squeegee, and I'm kind of pulling the laminate backing off the laminate just a little bit to get it started. And I'm just going to take my squeegee and just run it all down my sticker sheet here, pulling the laminate off of the backing. This is going to make sure that we don't get any bubbles. It's going to make sure the laminate is well adhered. Now this does make these stickers pretty thick, so we are going to need to use a pretty heavy cut setting when we cut these with our magnet sheet attached. So go ahead and just make sure you get that down really well. Now you may get a little bit of a curl from putting that on, but that just means you got it on really, really good. So if you just want to make sure that it's on perfectly, go ahead and just give it a swipe the other direction than which way you put it on. That just helps make sure that you don't have any like frosty look to it. You can also run this through a laminator, which I do have a video about that as well, but this is just the way I like to do it. So now what we need to do, and I'm going to show you, so the magnet sheet I have is a little bit smaller. So I need to make sure that my magnet sheet is under where my stickers are, but it should be fine. There's a little bit of an edge, so I shouldn't have to worry too much about getting it perfectly lined up, but it'll be fine. So again, this does have a sticky side. You can get magnet sheets without stickies. This is just what I personally have right now. So this is what we're going to use. But again, you can use regular ones, especially if you're using a sticker sheet. Now these are great if you don't have a sticker sheet and you just print them on like non-sticky paper, because they'll stick to the magnet sheet. But I'm going to go ahead and peel off the protectant over the sticky side. Be aware this is really sticky, like it is very, very sticky. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my Starcraft, and I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to peel off the non-sticky backing. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel back. Trying to let my pin pen roll away. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Now I can see through my Starcraft sheet a little bit better than I can see if I was going to try to line this up from the front. So all I'm going to do is take my magnet sheet, and I'm just going to try to get it best I can, kind of lined up. If it's not perfect, don't worry, that's fine. So it looks pretty good. If you want to, you can trim off some of the excess like sticky parts if you don't want to put those on your mat, but it really does not matter. You can absolutely put these on your mat. So again, what I'm going to do is go through and just give this a nice squeegee. We do have a little bit of a bubble right here. So if I can just get this bubble into a spot where there's not going to be any cuts, I'm just going to kind of pop it. And that way, when it cuts the unicorns out, it won't have that bubble on them. So just try to get the bubbles. If you have any, I've just got a couple here and there. I just try to get them off of where it's going to do any cutting, and then I just pop them, and it's not a big deal. You won't even notice them. So we're good. I think that looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it will do for now. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is grab a mat, and then I'm going to show you guys how to change your cut setting and how to cut these out. Over here in our materials settings, I'm going to click Browse All Materials. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually look at material settings. So in this, it's going to give you a lot of information, which is super important to have. So it's going to give you your material name, the cut pressure, how many cuts, and the blade type that you're going to use. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to scroll down there, alphabetical order. So what I want to do is I'm going to look for magnet sheet, because I want to see what the setting is for that. So this is a 1mm magnet sheet, and this is 350 with a 7 times cut, or we also have a magnet sheet that's 0.5 millimeters, and that's 320 with 4 times. So I think that the magnet sheet 0.05 should work, but we're going to go ahead and try... I'm not sure. See, this is where you really kind of needed to do a test cut, which I should have done, but I didn't. I think we'll try the magnet sheet 1mm because this is pretty thick. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and scroll back up to the top, because you can't choose it from here, which is kind of annoying. But you can close this out, and then you just need to browse all materials again, and then you can search for magnet. Now we are going to need to use our deep point blade for this, which is totally fine. So we'll go ahead and do that. Click done, and it's going to tell us that we need to load our deep point blade. I'll show you guys how to load that, and then we'll get it all cut out. We need to use our deep point blade, which that blade is the black housing with the black tip blade. So what you'll need to do is open clamp B, pull out your fine point blade, and then all you have to do is just insert your deep point blade and housing in and close clamp B. Then all you'll want to do is go ahead and insert your magnet sheets. Now I have my star wheels all the way over to the side. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and move them back over just to make sure that the magnet sheet is held on. You'll want to move your star wheels sometimes when you're doing things like foam, things like that, or if you're engraving, you're going to want to move them so they don't scratch. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and load this. Now this is going to measure my mat. then it will read the lines and cut. So it will take a few minutes. We're going to keep an eye on it throughout the cut and just watch and make sure that it doesn't cut too deep, because this does cut around it 7 times. Now all I have to do is hit the go button and it's going to kind of read our lines. Now we did use a glossy laminate, and I know a lot of people have problems using glossy laminate. You can either cut your laminate so that it goes inside of your registration marks if you have problems. You can also turn off lights in the room, or even sometimes turning on lights in the room helps. You may just need to try a few different things. You can also trace your lines with a black Sharpie. That can help as well. I personally haven't really had a lot of issues with it reading my lines, so I haven't really had to do a lot of that. But I do find sometimes if it's a little bit too bright in my room, it may not like to read those. So it's a little bit bright today, so we'll see how it does. But those are just some tips if you're having trouble with it reading your lines. So we're going to go ahead and let it cut, and then we're going to have really fun magnets. So now that it's done, we're not going to unload it because I can kind of see it doesn't look like it may be cut all the way through. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pop them and just see. You see how I'm lifting one side, but I'm not actually taking it off the mat or unloading. So it definitely didn't cut all the way through. So what I'm going to do, push this back down. And all I'm going to do is not unload the mat. This is really important that you do not unload your mat. You're going to go ahead and click the go button again. Now it's going to go ahead and do the same thing where it's going to read your marks. It's going to cut out your project again. But if you unloaded the mat, it's not going to cut in the same lines. It's going to cut slightly off. That's just kind of a Cricut thing because the mat kind of shifts left or right. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this cut. Now I will say mine did not read the lines, which is different because the last time I did this it did, but it is cutting right on those lines again, so we're just going to allow it to cut one more time. So now that we've cut them a second time, hopefully they're cut through. They are. Now we may have to pull off a little bit, but it should be just fine. You can see they've cut through. So we're going to go ahead and unload our mat and slide the Cricut out of the way just so it's a little bit easier. And what I like to do is I'm going to flip my mat upside down, and then I'm going to kind of peel it off and hope that most of the magnets kind of stay with the sheet. It'll be a little easier that way and make sure they don't end up bent. So you can see our little heart magnet came out. These are so fun. This is such a cute way that you can use your Cricut to make some really cool magnets. You can do these with pictures. You can do them with just about anything that you want, and they're great for like grandparents' gifts. Grandparents love pictures of their grandkids for their refrigerators. You can use these for teacher gifts. They always love a good magnet too. So these are just a really fun way that you can use your Cricut to make something super fun. Here they are all finished, but I wanted to show you that they are magnets. You can see it's not coming off. They hold on really, really well. I'm going to link everything that we used for this tutorial down below. That way you guys can find everything really, really easily. But this was just a really fun and simple thing that you can do to make these really, really easy and colorful magnets. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time, and don't forget to check out my Instagram listed down below as well. I would love to have you over there. I post lots of fun things, fun crafts. We have a good time. I hope you guys had so much fun. Have a great day, and happy crafting!